Such a new year. We all need to hold together. When it came down to let's just listen to this first. What's up, everybody? I got what's 2,000 of you guys on right now.
Oh my God, we're at 2K.
We're at 2,000 people on live on our
That's
IG
amazing.
live right now. There's another 8,500 on Facebook, and you gotta speak it.
Hey.
Right? There's another 8,500 on Facebook and another 100,000 on YouTube right now.
Thank you guys for joining us.
Thank you all for joining us.
Welcome to Frenz Zone.
I'm Jarid.
I'm Aggie.
And we are doing a part 2.
Y'all got if you missed part 1, you need to go back and listen to part 1. That was actually a great end to it, but we definitely had to slice this up to part 2.
We had to put a pin in it, and then we're coming back to to kind of talk about some of that.
We got to do a recap though, just in case people don't want to go back and listen. But y'all better go back and listen.
Okay, so give them a recap.
We were talking about service. We were talking about burnout. We were talking about visiting countries where there's a presumption that things happen that are related to things in the Bible, Christianity, religion, other religions.
Right.
And then he went into his mind is a little bit farther.
Well, I wouldn't say farther. I would just say that, like,
my bad. Wording is wrong.
I would say that I need more. Like, I can't keep getting the same thing. Like, I know all this. I know the scriptures. Like, I know the stories. You know what I'm saying? I know all the analogies that you're about to bring to each story.
So basically, he was saying, like,
you can teach me about
church is not enough for him right now in the season and the moment that he's in.
You just go to get encouraged. I feel like it's just, I go more to get encouraged through worship. It's like a release through worship. You know what I mean? It's a release through worship. You know what I mean? Praising God. And then there is a
encouraging word.
But that's it. That's it for me. I'm not trying to be encouraged. Like, well, yeah, I am trying to be encouraged. But I want to learn something new.
I ain't trying to be encouraged by you preachers.
You know?
I get it.
I want to learn the truth, too. The truth of the matter.
But do you think that the truth will
set you free? No.
Like you will always have the truth?
What do you mean?
First and foremost, you are hidden over there behind that camera.
I know they can't see me, but that's okay.
I mean, the thing is, do you think, I mean, you want to put it on you because this is your Instagram, not me. Oh. Not mine.
How are we going to do this?
Okay, there you go, right there.
Okay. I'm not sitting over there.
I know, but yeah, there you go.
Still going to be hidden. Not going to be able to see me unless you put the comments down.
Do you ever think that you will be able to get the truth, though? That's my question.
What is truth? What is truth? Because somebody says that
I know you can't handle the truth.
Somebody might be looking at Two-Face. You guys don't know who Two-Face is? From Batman?
I was going to say from Batman?
Mm-hmm. Somebody might be looking at Two-Face from the left side and say he's a normal person. And then you go over to the right side and you see that he's got his face is all jacked up. You think he's a monster, right? But truth, like I'm saying, is like, truth is always multifaceted. It's never just one thing and that thing only.
Yeah.
There's always, every paradox can be reconciled. You know, there's always two sides to a story. I think in Proverbs it says, like, the first person seems right when they state their case until someone comes and cross-examines them, right? So you might get the truth. You might think that, like, what you know is what you have or is it or is everything, but
when the person comes and cross-examines you, then now you have another idea of
a different side of the story.
That may be true too.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And then there's lies within every truth.
You said that before when I said something. You was like, in every truth, there's a lie.
Truth and like a truth and lies are the same thing identically. They are the same thing. They just vary in different degrees. It's like hot and cold.
Yeah.
Just think of a temperature or like a
water.
You know, water is the same thing as ice. They just vary in different degrees. right? So,
Put that lady up again.
hot, cold, hot, hot, cold, hard, soft. They're the same thing in nature. They just vary in different degrees.
Yeah.
So same with truth. That's why, you know, it's, you know, same thing with truth and lies. It's like they're the same thing in nature, but they just vary in degrees.
But when it comes to what you're seeking, do you ever think that you would ever get to that point of, aha, this is the truth? Probably not until you get to heaven.
As far as what is concerned.
No, whatever you're seeking.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever you are seeking.
Mm-hmm.
Because your ideal of what your truth is going to be different from what my truth may be.
Mm-hmm.
So do you ever think that you will ever get to a point where you're just like, okay, this is what I've been waiting for. This is what I've been looking for.
I think I found that already. I'm there already, but it's just like discovering more and more and more, you know, and you'll never arrive at a final destination. I was talking to somebody, a very successful person, and I was, you know, he was basically telling, you know, I told him like I want to be in a place financially where like I'm good. You know what I mean? I don't have to worry about.
Yeah,
anything,
I think we all do, especially
you know,
if you're
forever.
not there yet.
But the truth of the matter is that there's always going to be, even the most, you know, a puffy or everybody
Even
has financial troubles. They just
yeah.
have bigger financial troubles.
Yeah. No,
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And you'll never be in a place where you're like, I'm just good. You know, there's always going to be some sort of issue. So, I just think for me, what it boils back down to when we're talking about like the church and truth and
you wanting more because the church. Is it the physical church?
It's really what's being like preached. You know, it's not enough. Like going into a physical church and meeting with people, like I have no problem with that. Like I like that, you know. But it's like I think that it's fluff and there's no substance.
Check the last episode of why I agree with that train, but
At least we got the window closed this time. I think it's fluff and not a lot of substance. And
do you think because of the fact of where you were when you were in church, what position you had and things of that nature, that may have altered your thinking? Because the person
of, like,
that
what I've seen and like
the person just walking in and wanting something, they're not going to think like you are, but because you've seen, saw, did, do, even now, present now, do you think that alters your thinking?
No, well, yeah, I do.
To a certain
I
degree?
do. I think that those experiences have allowed me to view things in a different light. So yes.
So is it tainted? Is it biased?
It's not tainted. I don't think it's tainted. It just is what it is.
That's good.
You know, it just is what it is. Fluff and no substance is a very harsh critique, right? And I know I have a lot of pastor friends that might take that personally. Please don't take it personally because this is my
come
own
for
journey.
his. I'm sorry. Hey guys, on Instagram Live, I cuss.
This is Aggie. What's up, y'all?
Wow, still talking
11,000 of you guys watching right now.
We appreciate y'all so much.
So we appreciate you, 11,000 watching.
But I'm no fluff when it comes to everything.
Don't take what I'm saying. Don't take it personal. But again,
please don't. This
is my journey, and I think that.
But let me pause you right there because the people that know you will not take judgment to that. The people that don't know you will. So to those that know him, know where you're coming from. Mm-hmm. All right, continue.
They do, and we've had these conversations too. I've had these conversations before, and so I for me. It's coming from a perspective of I've been in church like all my life.
Yeah.
I'm talking since I've opened my eyes. I felt like I was sitting in one of those hard pews, sleeping in the hard pews, singing in the choir, you know, and just kind of walking in that faith. And it has set a solid foundation for my spiritual life.
Which is good.
Which
needed.
I'm not saying that that's bad.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm not saying like everything like the church right now, like what they're preaching is bad or nothing like that. I'm just saying that for me in my life right now, you know, I'm searching for more, right? I'm searching for the science behind things. I'm searching for that kind of truth that would
Oh,
put
you
things
said the
into
word
reality.
science.
Yeah, and you can't mention that.
Christianity and religion.
You can't mention that those two together, can you?
Some
'Cause it's
people
like
say they don't
taboo.
go. Yep, don't go hand in hand.
And they do. One explains the other. Um, so for me, that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for more of like, you know, um, what is the science behind it? Like I'll give you an example like this. Here's a perfect example. Um, I just talked about like hot and cold,
Yeah, yeah.
right? That is a law. It's called a law of polarity, right? Everything has its polar opposite.
Yeah.
Everything, right? And so that's a scientific, these are scientific laws, or like the law of correspondence. It's as above, so below. And that will allow you to understand things on this level on a higher level. That'll give you an understanding of things on a higher level on this, like that you can see on this level. But these are laws. And so when you put these laws into place, right? A perfect example of that, um, let's say you have the law of polarity, and then you have a higher law that can supersede that, which is like um, the law of rhythm, right? So you have scientifically, you have laws that are higher than other laws, and some can counteract others. And in faith, in the church, it's like you can have faith in something. There's a law of, an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth.
Yeah, yeah.
But the law of grace supersedes that. Like grace and mercy, that's a law that supersedes that.
Yeah.
Just like cause and effect. You have the law, there's a cause and there's an effect, but there's higher laws that can that can supersede these laws of cause and effect, that counteract that, like, which is I was talking about, like grace and mercy. So I'm trying to like really find a particular like science and structure to my being and like who I am and how I actually work. And the church doesn't provide that for me. You know what I mean?
Do you think that maybe
they only encourage me? I need to know exactly like how my body is. You know what I mean?
I mean, I get that. but goes back to what I say. You can't mention the two.
You can't. You really can't, because...
And it goes back to mentioning what I said in episode 2. You might want to go back and watch it.
You definitely should.
But by how we started on this whole conversation about church and serving and things of that nature.
Yeah. I know it sounds like a little muddled, talking about like all the laws. Like, don't get caught up in too much of that, because I probably didn't explain that in a way that like really made sense to people. But again, like for me, I've gone from taking the Bible so literally
to
sweating right now. I've gone from taking the Bible so literally to understanding it for like truly what it is and what it's trying to say, and I feel like we get
muddled a little bit
in so much of that. Was Jesus from Nazareth? You know what I mean? Or wherever he was from.
Child, according to Israel, he was from everywhere. Just assume. Episode 2.
We take it so literally, and it just gives.
And people hold on to that truly. Mm-hmm. I always make this joke, and me and my I said, I know God is in heaven. Like, I did not tell y'all to do none of this.
You know what I'm saying? None of it. Not in there.
I ain't said not none of this. I sometimes wonder, has he created, another whole universe with
like the whole,
like we were the test subjects. And the other people in the other universe is living.
You know, probably.
I mean, you know, God doesn't make any mistakes, but at the end of the day, like, he probably is like, all right, I'm just going to wait till that ends. And we're going to start all over.
I think that, like, animal sacrifice is an example of God saying, I didn't tell y'all to kill not one animal. The animal is you. You are the animal. But that's the truth behind it. You are the animal that you're supposed to sacrifice. Your flesh, don't walk.
But I ain't tell you to kill no cow.
The flesh kind of thing. I ain't tell you to, like,
a goat.
Like, it's you, brother. It's you.
Like,
now y'all killing 1,000 bulls every 10 steps going up the hill, and you know what I mean? Like, that's not what I'm talking.
I ain't tell y'all to do none of this.
But that's what I'm saying is, like, you take things so literally, and you miss the truth that's being, like, presented in.
That was good. Text. That was a great analogy, Jared.
You are the animal. I'll even go into, like, as far as 666.
Oh, Lord. Here we go. We're probably finna get somebody to turn it off.
Who's Antichrist? Who's Antichrist?
They're going to be like,
You are Antichrist. You can be Antichrist.
They're going to flag us.
Because you up here laid up right now, probably just got your doors blown off on the couch, right? Laid up with your boo. Got your doors blown off.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like, everybody can be Antichrist, yo. And I know that was probably a little bit too far.
But they're gonna flag everything about this.
I'm trying to tell you. That's the thing, though. It's like,
but he is still the most wonderful thing about who God is and who Jesus is right. And he's still gracious and loving and forgiving. He gives us grace, man. It's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Not to, people say, well, that don't mean you got an excuse to still do. But hey, just because you don't do what I do, that means you may be doing something else that you ain't supposed to be doing.
And doing it all.
You know?
I'm trying to tell you, doing it all. Listen, guys. Like, what you want to attain, right, is perfection in your own body. And that's what everybody seeks after. We wish you could be this. We wish you could be more like that. But it's hard.
Mm-hmm.
It's a journey. It's a struggle to try to kill the flesh, because that is the dragon. That is the beast. You are the beast, right? And it's difficult. It's a hard road to tread upon, because the reward is so great. That which is, like, deep within you, that is within you. The kingdom is within you, first of all. Right, it's not somewhere you can look at, but the reward is so great in finding that it's a difficult one to actually tread, but it's really about finding, like, who you truly are in yourself. That's what I think it's about. Like, I've gone from taking the Bible so literally, even as, and this is probably like the first time I've been talking about this publicly, but you know.
Lord, help him find the words.
Think about this for a second.
That he is trying to say.
Think about this for a second.
We should put up a disclaimer.
Think about this, and we need to, right? Because my views are not her views.
Exactly. Right. But y'all gotta know I'm like the jokester, and I like play off of it. Mm-hmm. But I'm very much in tune for what you're saying. Like, I'm just all for it, because we sit here and we talk about this stuff all the time.
Think about this for a second. It says broad is the way that leads to what? Come on, you know this verse. You know this verse. Broad is the way that leads to what? Destruction. Right? Narrow is the way that leads to what? Life. Come on, stop acting like you don't know this. She's looking at me like she don't know this. In Matthew, it says broad is the gate that leads to destruction. But narrow is the way that leads into eternal life. And here's the thing. Just think about this for a second. And few, and it says few there be that find it. Think about that.
But you know what?
Broad is the way that leads to destruction. Narrow is the gate that leads to eternal life. And few,
but
there be that find eternal life.
The people that are on this earth know that they are the few. How do you combat that?
What's a few? If you were looking at 1,000 people, what'd you say? People on earth know that they're the few?
I'm pretty sure somebody watching this be like, well, I'm in the few.
And
how do you know?
If you're looking at 1,000 people, if you see 1,000 people outside, what would be a few to you?
For a few, for me, it's
or
4.
100 people?
It's a fourth of people.
It's like 3 or 4 people.
Yeah, it's like,
right? Let's just take, you say 100 people. You would say a few is 3 people.
Yeah.
Right? A couple, 1, 2 is a couple.
Yeah.
3 is a few.
Yeah.
Right? 3 people. You're saying 3 people out of 100. So if there are however many billions of people in the world, right, or that ever lived, few people, only a few people find like eternal life. Like, how can that be? Does that mean that only a few, like,
see,
if everybody in our neighborhood, only 3 people are going to heaven?
That's where it hung me up plenty of times.
Does that mean that like only a few people are going to heaven? You know what I'm saying? And then why would God do that?
Exactly. That's where I come around to. Why would God even do that to the people that he created, said that he loved? Like literally bone of my bone, flesh of my flesh. Like, you are me.
These are real questions you got to ask. Exactly.
So why would he do that?
Exactly. Why would God, knowing, right? You ask people right now, you know what I mean? Do you believe in like not predestination? Free will versus is free will like being able, I forget what the term is, and it's right on the tip of my tongue. But anyway, it's like if God knew, right? If he created everything and he knows everything, he's omniscient, he's omnipresent, then why would he, and I'm his son, right?
Come on, Pastor.
For you parents out there who are parents, look at your kid. They could do the worst thing in the world, and let's say they went to hell for the things that they did. And if you had the power as a parent to get them up out of hell, would you let them stay down there and be like, nah, they deserve it? Let them stay down there. He deserves that. Hell no. Would you?
No.
I don't care what your son does.
I'll be fighting to get them.
Imagine your son being in hell. Your son in hell, tormented, and you knowing, watching, being omniscient, omnipresent, knowing and watching all like him being tormented. And you're all powerful. You can do whatever you want. Snap a button. You know what I'm saying? This is how we perceive God.
But then people are going to the whole where he had a choice.
Exactly.
And he didn't repent.
Exactly.
Or he didn't give his life.
But you as a parent,
to whatever savior.
I'm asking you.
But yeah, God is the father.
If you were a father and you were to see your child in there, right? You know, then you would do everything that you could to get them out of eternally
So what are you saying about the verse, though?
Narrow.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, you gave an explanation, which is a good explanation. You know what I'm saying? So, what are you saying? Because this the question. This the question that somebody gonna hit you with. Mm-hmm. So, are you saying that scripture is at this point voided?
So what I'm saying, what people relate it to is narrows the way that leads into life. What people relate that to is to you dying and going to heaven and living eternally, you know, and being saved. That's what they think like being saved is.
But you're saying it's not.
It's not being saved.
Well, what is it, friend? I'm gonna hit you with the questions because you know they coming. You don't get the text message. So y'all need to.
I'll tell you exactly what it is. It's the Philosopher's Stone. It's the elixir of life. That's exactly what it is. Do you know what the Philosopher's Stone is?
No, tell me, friend.
It's alchemy. That's what it is. So. I knew that, but. So, and I think that. The broad is the way that leads to destruction. You deal with that first part, right? So you can do, you know, living here in life. There's so many things that can pull you away from actually, you know, finding your true self and who you are.
Yes, most definitely.
And entering into that like power.
Yeah.
You know, because I think that's what Jesus taught. It's like, you know, really doing things like even greater than I could have ever done.
Yeah.
But it's about, for me, I believe that it's about enlightenment. like true enlightenment, and that only comes through fiery tests, that comes through suffering, pain, sacrifice. Like think of it like this: the prince, and we talked about this before, but the prince or the knight who goes in to rescue the princess has to do what? This is all allegory, right? This is all an allegory for life. The knight that has to go and rescue the princess, they got to fight. They got to find the place.
Find it first.
They got to jump through fire, run through fire.
All of that.
They got to,
climb, scale the wall.
Scale the wall. Everything heroic, everything courageous, everything brave, to be able to find this princess and rescue her. But it's the same thing. If you internalize that, you're fighting that same battle, like internally. You're fighting the same battle, trying to find yourself, trying to fight against the dragon, which you are the dragon, the flesh, right? It's the flesh, you're the dragon. You're fighting against these things, the lusts of the flesh, you know what I mean? Or the dragon, you know what I mean? Like, you're fighting against all of these things, and it's hard as hell.
Every day, every second of the day.
It's hard as hell to be able to
fight it for my life.
to do that, because the kingdom is within you, and finding that is like I feel man's true purpose in life.
It really needs to be just more open dialogue when people have conversations like this, especially for people like you who are trying to get like a deeper meaning or be enlightened outside of what you hear on Sunday, Wednesdays. I think that I think part of the reasoning why people don't have these type of dialogues is one, pride, because I know more than you. Mm-hmm. I studied more than you. I've experienced more than you. So how can you tell me this is what the Lord told me, And with really not giving any type of, I don't want to say context, but really like not even digging deeper into what God is actually like saying to us. Mm-hmm. And I think it does leave a lot of people lost.
Yeah.
You wonder why people come for a little bit, and then dip out, because at this point, nothing that I've been there long enough and nothing is satisfying me anymore. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And it's almost like a chase, and you really are not getting what you need to get. So there needs to be like people, especially people in like leadership, pastors and things of that nature. Like this just really needs to be an open dialogue, because your people that come into your churches really have these questions. And sometimes they are ashamed. They feel like they can be judged, or feel like they, are crazy or delusional, especially when you talk about the science and mixing of the religions and all of that. But these are real live things that people are really going through. Trust me, not only do I have these conversations with Jared, but I also have these conversations with other people, Mm-hmm. And so I think that the way this world going, it is time out for all of us to be doing all that, because at some point God gonna be sick of all y'all.
Sick of it.
Because I'm gonna be in the few.
In the few, okay. Okay.
Y'all gonna be mad. Talk about how.
Yeah,
how she get up here?
How does she? Because she went within. Okay, she went within herself.
Gonna be pissed.
Here's an example too. Another example, like the whole Bible is symbolism. Like you just need to get that out there. Okay.
Oh, he is going.
I'm going in today. And I'm going to piss a lot of y'all off, because you guys looking at this historically and be like, no, well, actually, Jesus did walk there. Okay, whatever.
Did you say whatever?
Whatever, because that's not the truest essence of the text. So here's an example, though. Here's an example of like symbolism, because the words mean one thing. They say one thing, but they mean another, right? He came into his own, but his own received him not. Which your immediate thought process of that is like, okay, he is Jesus, right? He came into his own, and is like, okay, he was born in
the flesh,
in the flesh, and he was born into the world, and born into like Nazareth, and his own people didn't even believe that he was the Son of God, right? And they kind of, a prophet is not accepted within his own.
Rejected him.
Yeah, they rejected him, and they killed him. His Jews, right? I mean, the Jews who killed him and crucified him.
Jesus, that word.
And That's what you immediately think of when you read that verse. It's in John somewhere. But he came into his own, and his own received him not. But if you look at the soul of the text, that's the flesh of the text, right? That's what you literally see. You think of Jesus literally being in a geographical location, being rejected by real people. That's not what it's saying, okay? Or that is what it's saying, but that's not the true form of it.
Okay, part two
That
is
is the surface.
You need to pull out that second book where you have to get every word and transcribe what that means. That's what you're saying?
Exactly. You need to figure out like exactly what it is. And only the Spirit can like reveal some of these things. But what it's really saying is that like he came into his own. Eternalize everything. Whatever you read in the Bible, think about how you can apply it personally to you.
Yeah.
And internalize it.
Yeah.
Christ is in you. You have Christ consciousness and life inside of you, but you don't even receive him.
You reject him.
You reject him. You, your own. That's why I can say like you are Antichrist. You know what I mean? You talk about who's the Antichrist? It's you, nigga. Like it's you.
I mean, that's deep. You're right.
It's you. He came into his own, and his own, like you don't even receive him and what he can do. Because every time he tells you to go left, you go right.
And then you be down at the altar talking about, I give myself away.
And then Monday you be like.
No, not even Monday, Sunday night.
Sunday night, you know, or whatever you,
hey, big head.
Feel that.
Not that. But I'm just saying. What you doing?
What you doing?
In the context of that, you know, but not even that if you're not even doing stuff like that. But still, you know, not even when you get Sunday night, when you leave church.
I'm trying
walking out the door. I've seen it happen for real.
Because I've done it.
Me too.
I've done it. As soon as I walked out the door. You know what I'm saying? And it is
on the left hand side. Pass.
That you on the left hand side. But you only know because you've done it. You've been there. Like, you know what I'm saying?
I mean, not even done it, been there. You still do it.
You still do it.
That's why I say fighting for my life every day.
And that's why it's so hard. It's so hard. Bible says, be ye perfect. Even as your Father in heaven is perfect.
That is tough. How? God, show me the way.
Because only a few find it. Only a few attain perfection. You ever think about like, you know, these people in the world, they're so enlightened and you're like, yeah, man, they're so knowledgeable. They're like, you just think of them like, wow, like you are really up here like with your knowledge and like with your teaching and like what you know, that's because they're evolving and transcending like different, higher heights.
So what you're saying, friend, is you need to evolve.
You definitely got to evolve
every day
somehow.
But how do you combat that? Like, how do you combat, like, fighting your flesh every day is hard. Every second of the day, fighting your flesh is hard. And for the people out there that say, no, it's not, yes, it is. Because every day you make a conscious choice to fight your flesh. You may give in to it or you may not. But at the end of the day, you are constantly fighting. You just don't wake up and be like, oh, yeah, I'm good today. Something in you, if it's from, I don't want to go too deep because I know we've been real churchy. Our next episode may be a little related churchy today. But I mean, from, whatever your sin is to, you're not supposed to eat that donut, but then you eat a slice of donut. You know what I'm saying? I mean, just simple things like that you're trying to, discipline yourself in doing. Like right now I'm doing Jarid January. And, I really, he just poured it. But even in that, like, discipline yourself to not even do that. Certain things. Like and that could be like from social media, from just a lot of stuff. How do you combat that when you're constantly trying to evolve?
I think it's through a lot of different ways. It's a knowledge about one, it's will. The first thing is will. Okay, yeah. Because you have to set your intentions and will to do something. Yeah. Right. That's the first thing. And then the second thing is like wisdom and knowledge, I feel like. Because if you don't know better, you ain't gonna do better.
That's true.
right? And so you need to know what are the physical ways that I can perfect my body so that it's vibrating and attuned to higher and receptive to higher frequencies, right? That's, and then you have yoga, right? Which is dealing with the breath and dealing with like mental focus. You have like Islam, which deals with like discipline.
Discipline. They is disciplined. They pray how many times a day? 5 times?
And be on it.
I'm trying to tell you, I lived in the Middle East. They didn't miss a beat.
I think it's so it's through those things. It's through a bunch of different things that like you reach these higher heights of like perfection, because I believe that perfection is attainable here and now in this life.
Woo.
And if you don't, you're going to die and then get another chance at it.
Trying to tell you, he already got prepared. I believe he already got some folks already over there. Cause we're going to do this right the next time around. That's what God said. Y'all ain't going to be cutting up next time.
I believe in reincarnation now. I'm a Christian. I'm a Christian that believes in reincarnation. Now you ready to go? Should we stop this for another part 3? Because I'm a Christian that believes in reincarnation. I said it.
There's going to be.
I feel so much better. Hallelujah.
No judgment. I'm so glad, friend, you got that off your chest. Was that eating you up inside?
That was eating me up. I believe in it. And I didn't realize it until.
Do you think in a reincarnation sense, we're going to put a plug in this one because this might have to be episode 3, but in a sense that when you die and are reborn again?
Yes.
That's what you mean?
Yes.
Not like coming back as a bug?
Until I feel that karma and cause and effect are real things, right?
If I come back, Lord, just let me be either born into a wealthy family or a rock.
You can kill a rock. A piece of gold. How about a piece of gold?
Nah, because then they going to put me through the fire and burn me and make me to some jewelry, and then somebody going to give it to their baby mama or baby daddy, and then they going to get mad and then throw it at them, and then it'll be a whole mess. I don't want to be like that.
You must have been living some kind of life.
That's what I'm saying. So just make me be a rock.
On the side of the road.
Bothering nobody.
Just watching cars go by.
That's what I want to be. Rock is not a living organism. But baby,
it is a living organism.
It is a living organism.
Doesn't seem like it is, though.
Doesn't seem like it is. But just let me be a rock. I don't want to go through no trial, tribulations, anything that you humans go through second time around.
Oh, my gosh. They're going to kill me for this, yo. They're going to kill me for this. Oh, my gosh. Don't kill me, y'all. Don't kill me.
But that's the purpose. Like I said, and I'm gonna always reiterate this, guys. Our podcast is not ways of judgment. We don't have all the answers, nor do we know the truth. We're just two people that have thoughts. That we've done this numerous of times before, where we sat and we talked and try to get answers within, and we bring other people in to kind of have these conversations. But at the end of the day, these are like true life things that I think everybody talks about. They just ain't got a camera to put in it. You're talking about it in the privacy of your home, maybe in your group chat. And people are scared. Definitely you're scared to be judged. Who are me to judge? And I don't care if you judge me or not.
Come on.
I really don't care. But when I tell you.
And I don't have all the answers either. I know what I've learned in my life.
And basically, right, this is his opinion. This is how he's feeling. This is why he, wants to talk about it. And there's certain things that I probably would feel, and he'd be like, yeah, friend, okay. But at the end of the day, that's the purpose of this. And we welcome you guys to join us in our conversations.
And these are some of the things that we're talking about. I know we got a little deep, right?
No, y'all got to go back to episode 2 because it leads into this one right here. I mean, the last episode. I forgot what episode we on, but yeah, definitely go back to the previous episode so you'll know what's going on in this one. But that was pretty deep, friend. I might have to bring dry January because at this point.
You want me to pour out for you?
I discipline.
I got some. Yeah, that was good though. Like there's still so much to even talk about. So maybe we might continue depending on how we feel.
We might continue. We might not.
We might not. We might will. Okay. Depending on y'all, let us know. Do y'all want to hear more about this? Do y'all want to hear more about something else? Like, what questions do y'all have? You know,
because people are not really commenting. We need y'all to comment, even though we may or may not care. No, I'm just playing. We do care.
She don't care. I care, y'all. I be answering y'all comments. She be in there like, can you please answer this person?
I sent you that. Please.
Can you please respond back to this person?
Because what I'm not going to do. Nah, I love y'all for real.
We love you guys. Thanks for joining us for this episode. This is episode 5. We're going to close it out and probably talk to y'all a little bit later next week.
Love y'all, mean it. Make good choices. Be a leader. Don't be average. Be
savage.
And the marathon continue, guys. Love you, mean it. Bye.
Peace, y'all. Well, that was good.
That was good.
It was so broad that it was like a lot. Like, there's no way. No way. Like,
it makes sense though. We brought it around.
People are gonna be watching this. Like,
we still on live. Screenshot.
Such a new year. We all need to hold to God when it came down to
pause.
Let's just listen to this first.